Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today we're going to be doing an Evil Twins deck profile. So I'm really excited for this deck because this deck just got some more support in Lightning Overdrive in the form of Live Twin Kiss a Kill Frost. It's a great card for the deck, it's a great extender for the deck, and the deck is a really fun deck to be able to play around with because it has so much versatility in what you can actually do, because there's so many cool boss monsters you can throw in this extra deck. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on there so you can come part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like getting your name sharing a single video, getting a signed card to the mail, and even getting to request the deck profile every single month to your patron along with test hands. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Live Twins Kiss a Kill. So Kiss a Kill is a great card in this deck, and you got to play 3 copies of each of the original ones. And what she does is each time an opponent's monster declares an attack, then you can gain 500 life points. And if this card is normal or special summon, you control no other monsters, then you can special summon a Lila monster from your hand or deck, and you only use your effect once per turn, which is a really great effect just to be able to get you all sorts of different extension plays, because you're going to be able to go into a Link 2 with this card off of just the normal summon, and you can also go into some really good plays with stuff like Lila Treat and your Kiss a Kill Frost, depending on which one of the monsters you have on the field. We then play 3 copies of Live Twin Lila. Lila is also really good because she has the ability that your opponent must pay 500 life points to declare an attack, and if this card is normal or special summon, then you control no other monsters, and you can special summon a Kiss a Kill monster from your hand and or deck, which is pretty cool just to be able to get that monster from the deck to your side of the field, which is going to be primarily where you're going to be summoning it from anyways. The cool thing is, I will mention, is these cards are Cyverse monsters, and they're kind of YouTubers, which is kind of cool. We're then going to be playing 2 copies of Live Twins Kiss a Kill Frost. I like 2 copies of Kiss a Kill Frost because she has the ability to control a Lila monster, and you can special summon this card from your hand, and you can only special summon her once per turn this way, and if a card is added from the main deck to your opponent's hand by a card effect while you control an Evil Twins monster, then you can banish this card from the graveyard and you get to draw a card, which is pretty good just to be able to get you an additional card from your deck to your hand. We then play 2 copies of Lila Treat. Lila Treat is also very good in the deck because she has the ability that you control a Kiss a Kill monster. You can special summon her from your hand, and you can only use the effect of her once per turn and summon her once per turn this way. And then when another player takes damage from a battle involving an Evil Twins monster, you manage to card from the graveyard, target a face-up monster opponent controls, and it loses attack equal to the battle damage they took, which is pretty good. I like that effect that it's just going to be able to do additional damage against your opponent. It really helps out the deck, and it's a really good card to play in this deck because by playing 2 each, what usually ends up happening is your opponent's going to throw an Ash at one of these, one of your main ones that you're going to normal summon, but these kind of back up the play where it's like, okay, cool, you Ashed one of these, well, I still control, I have one of these in the hand, so I can throw them out behind it so I can still go into my Link plays. We then play 2 copies of Backup Secretary. Backup Secretary helps out a lot too because she's just an additional special summon. Because if you control Cyverse, which is these, if they do get ashed, because the deck is a little bit vulnerable to that, so you have to play around it a lot. You can special summon her from your hand, but you can only special summon her once per turn. We then play 3 copies of ParallelXZ. ParallelXZ, it's a primarily, well, it is a complete Link-based deck, so this card comes in really handy to just give you another monster on the field, because you can special summon this card to a zone a Link monster points to, and if you special summon this card, you can special summon an additional ParallelXZs from the deck, but both of them are level 4 and you have their attack, which is not that big of a deal, just to be able to give you that monster on your side of the field. I really like that effect to just be able to throw out additional ParallelXZs. They're both level 4, so you can make rank 4s. I don't play any rank 4s in the deck, but you can if you want to. We then play a single copy of Artifact Scythe. Artifact Scythe comes in ridiculously handy because I do play Sanctums in this deck. Just to shut down my opponent's extra deck is just really nice with this card. We play 3 copies of Ash Blossom just to stop my opponent from touching the deck at all. It's really helpful to play this card as a 3 of, and then we play 2 copies of Ghost Bell. Ghost Bell is really good because it just stops your opponent from touching the graveyard, and this card is really handy in this format because when a card or effect is activated, that includes one of the following, which is adding cards from the graveyard to the hand deck or extra deck, or special summoning a monster from the graveyard, or banishing a card from the graveyard, you can discard this card and negate the activation, which is really, really good. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Harpy's Feather Duster, because Harpy's Feather Duster comes in really handy just at hitting macro. Especially if you get pushed to go second, this card comes in really handy to stop your opponent from hitting you with a bunch of back row cards. One copy of Call by the Grave. Call by the Grave is very handy as well to just stop your opponent from hand trapping you, especially with cards like Ash Blossom. One copy of Pot of Avarice, because it can shuffle back into your deck your copies of your Kisakills and your copies of your Lillas, which comes in really handy in a deck like this that just goes through resources like crazy, and it lets you draw two, which is really helpful too. We then play 3 copies of ANNIHIATION. ANNIHIATION is really good in this deck because it lets you send a card from your hand to the graveyard to add a level 4 or lower Cyverse monster from your deck to your hand. So if you don't open up a Kisakill or a Lilla monster, you can then use this to add them from deck to hand. We do have some other searchers in the deck, which is really helpful, but ANNIHIATION as a 3-of is just really helpful. We then play 3 copies of Live Twin Home. Live Twin Home is actually really cool because it's actually their, YouTube page, which is kind of cool. What this card does is you discard a card to special summon a Kisakill or a Lilla monster from your deck. But for the rest of the card resolves, you can't special summon monsters from the extra deck except for Evil Twin monsters. You can only activate this card once per turn. We then play 3 copies of Secret Password. Secret Password is kind of cool because it lets you add a Live Twin or Evil Twin spell trap from your deck to your hand if you control a Kisakill monster, or if you control a Kisakill monster you control a Lilla monster, you can add an Evil Twin monster from your deck to your hand instead. So this card comes in really handy as a 3-of just to get you additional searches from the deck. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to be playing a single copy of Present. Present is kind of neat because it has the ability to control a Kisakill monster. If you control a Kisakill monster and you control a Lilla monster, then you can activate one of these effects to either target a Kisakill or a Lilla monster you control in a face of monster opponent controls, and you switch control of those monsters, or you target a set spell or trap your opponent controls and shuffle it into the deck. We then play a single copy of GGEZ. I have to say, whoever came up with the name of this card was a genius, and I absolutely love it. What this card does is you get to tribute a Kisakill monster or a Lilla monster, and then activate one of the effects to be able to target a Kisakill monster or a Lilla monster you control, and it gains attack equal to the original attack of the tributed monster. Or when a card or effect is activated with destroy cards on the field, you can negate the activation. We then play 2 copies of Challenge. Challenge is also really good in this deck because it lets you target a Kisakill monster or a Lilla monster in your graveyard, special summon them, and immediately after the card resolves, you get to link summon an Evil Twin monster you control, using that monster as material. So basically get you a free link summon, which is pretty good. And then we play 3 copies of Artifact Sanctum. I like the Sanctums in this deck because it is going to shut your opponent down from the extra deck by just special summoning the 1-of Scythe that you play in the deck. So that's it for the traps, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Evil Twin Kisakill. Kisakill is going to be the one that you're going to be summoning primarily first, and it has the ability that if this card is special summoned, then you control a Lilla monster, you can draw a card, and then during the main phase, if you do not control a Lilla monster, quick effect, you can special summon 1 Lilla monster from your graveyard. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, except for Fiend monsters, which is fine because the primarily extra deck is Cyvers and Fiends. We then play 3 copies of Lilla. I bumped Lilla back up to 3 because I really like playing 3 now that we have all of those new versions of the monsters, which this card comes in ridiculously handy in the deck because she has such a good effect that if this card is special summoned and you control a Kisakill monster, you can target a card your opponent controls and destroy it. So basically you're getting to draw a card and pop a card, and then during the main phase, if you do not control a Kisakill monster, then quick effect, you get to special summon a Kisakill from the graveyard, and also you cannot special summon a monster in the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Fiend. We then play a single copy of the Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. Closed World is really good because she is a Fiend, and you can use your opponent's monsters to actually link summon into this card by using 1 of theirs and 3 of yours. So this card can come in really handy and is really easy to summon. She also Colways the field, which is really nice. We then play a single copy of Unchained Abomination. Now, Unchained Abomination is kind of like the hidden boss monster of this deck because it is a Fiend monster, and it's basically like, it kind of reminds me of like being like their dog. Like, it's really kind of cool that the way that this deck actually plays with Unchained Abomination. But what this card does is if you control, or if a card's on the field is destroyed by a card effect, except by this card's effect, then you can target it on the field and destroy it. When another monster is destroyed by battle, target a card on the field and destroy it. And then during the end phase, just cause, target card on the field and destroy it. So basically you're able to pop up to 3 cards per turn with this card, and it combos really well with Lila because Lila can pop additional cards on the field, which is really, really good. We then play a single copy of Access Code. Access Code comes in really handy because it pops a bunch of stuff on the field that is a Cyverse monster, but you can still get it out pretty easily. Play a single copy of Nightmare Griffin. Nightmare Griffin comes in handy as well because if this card is linked summon, you can discard a card, target a spell trap in the graveyard, and set it to the field, but it can't activate this turn. And if this card was co-linked when it was activated, you get to draw a card. But the really good effect is special summon monsters on the field cannot activate their effects unless they're linked. So this card is really handy at being able to just kind of shut your opponent's extra deck down. So this card is really, or not extra deck, their entire deck. If it's not a linked monster and it gets special summon, it's like, hey, no, you can't do anything. We then play a single copy of Unicorn. Unicorn is really good because Unicorn basically just shuffles stuff back. 1 copy of Phoenix to pop spells and traps. 1 copy of IP because IP goes into Phoenix, which is really good. And then I play a small Cyverse package in the extra deck as well, which is a single copy of Devotee. Devotee has the ability, if this card is special summoned for the rest of turn, you can now link summon that's linked 3 or higher. And if this card is linked card is tributed, then you can special summon 2 tokens to your side of the field that are Cyverse, which is really good. And then we play a single copy of Disciple. Disciple has the ability that you can tribute a monster this card points to draw a card and then place a card from your hand on top of the deck. So it gets you a draw and then get you 2 tokens, which can go into an IP. And then during your opponent's turn, you can go into a copy of your Nightmare Unicorn, which is really good. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. It's a really fun deck to be able to play around with. I highly recommend if you guys have not tried Evil Twins out. It is a fun deck to be able to play with. It's very simplistic in what it's trying to do. I really love the artwork of the cards. I think they're very spot on. I really love the way that the deck plays. And it's a very simple deck to learn as well. So you guys should definitely give this deck a try. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on there so you can come part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon on the description below. And we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.